DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Excited to be here with Rect from Metis. We are going to be checking out some tournament play and talking about DeFi Kingdoms. So this tournament is actually kicking off right now. However, wanted to talk about a couple things real quick. The first one being the GameFi Arcade at ETH Denver. So both the DeFi Kingdoms team and Metis team were at ETH Denver. It was an incredible event and a great showing. Both myself and Rect were actually there in person ourselves. But the GameFi Arcade was really cool. It was a lot of fun. They had it like front and center in the main event this year, which was an incredible improvement. So a huge shout out to ETH Denver for really incorporating gaming. Shout out to Metis for securing that spot for the Metis games, but including us. So thank you very much. And yeah, it was really cool because we actually launched tournaments like the night before the GameFi Arcade started. So it was really, really fun to be able to be at the booth demoing DeFi Kingdoms while showing a live tournament that was in play happening right then. It really just helped kind of drive home that point of combat. PvP is live. PvP is here. Combat is ready to go. But yeah, I had a blast. Any major takeaways from ETH Denver for you?
Yeah, what's up, everyone? It's Anthony or Breck. I see my name for real this time. But no, it was ETH Denver was awesome. It's my favorite crypto event of all of them. I've been to a handful of the major ones. There's nothing that tops ETH Denver. The people are amazing. The energy is amazing. I thought this ETH Denver it was gonna be bullish, but the market already started tanking, and but it was still awesome. Like that we weathered the storm, and it was great. It was great to the arcade that we had the Metis GameFi Arcade with you all hosting it and showing people the game. That was really cool, and it was cool to see that. And then we had the vending machine where people could go put in their information, and then they'd get the vending machine would spit out some swag, and then we had some DFK swag that was coming out of there too. So a lot of people went home with some DFK swag. So yeah, it was great. It was awesome, and I'm glad that y'all are doing the tournament, and we're here to watch this. And I just want to remind people that even if you suck at the game like me, you can also be a predictor and still be rewarded and have fun with this tournament with influence voting and predicting games and winning and being part of the action like that as well too. So there's a lot of ways to get involved, and yeah, but it was great seeing you too. It was great to actually connect in person. That was our first time meeting in person. That was really cool.
Yeah, no, it was great to get to meet yourself and several Metis team that I had not yet gotten to meet, which is always one of the highlights of live events to me, is getting to meet people that we interact with on a daily basis, but have never actually met.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It is. Yeah, it's a crazy world. So yes, this tournament has started, but before we dive into one of the first matches, I just wanted to talk about tournaments themselves for a minute. So Rect mentioned there's ways for everyone to get involved, and we're going to talk about several of those ways throughout this tournament as an example. But this tournament is one of what we are calling our daily skirmishes. So these tournaments happen every day, Monday through Friday, twice a day. They have a whole bunch of different rule sets. And part of the reason that we've done that is to make tournaments more accessible and make them more approachable for everyone, because there's so many different rule sets that maybe you have a team that isn't, or maybe you don't have a team for this type of tournament, but you do have a team for this other rule set. Fantastic. compete in that rule set. That's the whole point. All of these tournaments, the daily skirmish and other, before that, actually, playing in the daily skirmish and performing well is how you advance through the tournament series. So we then have our weekend tournaments, which you have to qualify for in the dailies. Those feed into a monthly, and then all of those feed into a final grand finale all-star tournament at the end of this 6-month tournament series. All of our tournaments have built-in prizes. The further in you get to the series, the larger those prizes get. The all-star tournament, the winner will take home a $10,000 grand prize. However, over the 6-month tournament series, there will be over $75,000 just in the cash equivalent prizes. There's also NFTs, equipment, and all kinds of add-ons there. But we can see here in the rewards, so our daily skirmish has a $5 entry fee. First place will take home $30, as well as an equipment chest and a qualifier token, like I mentioned, for that weekend tournament. Second place gets $15 in a qualifier. Third place gets $5 and a qualifier, and then everybody else gets a qualifier to what we call our Revengers series, which we'll talk more about a little later. But the way that the tournaments work, so this match was scheduled for 3 p.m. Eastern. For 3 p.m. Eastern, it is now 3:05, so it is running as we speak. Entries currently open 1 hour prior to tournament start time. That is something that we may adjust as we see how people do with it. But once everybody has entered, it automatically rolls a bracket for everybody, and it does randomize your matchups as well. So round 1 is going on right now. I am going to unbiasedly just pick this first match, and we will take a look at it. This is what Rect was referring to in terms of voting. We're going to talk more about that between the rounds when it's live and happening, so that we can show you guys how it works. But we are joining this match in progress between Dragnapur and I Know Kung Fu. We're going to see if Kung Fu helps him in this match of DeFi Kingdoms player versus player combat. Joining this match in progress, we are going to talk about combat, but we will also see it from the start here in round 2 shortly. That was a massive whirlwind coming in from Dragnapur's warrior. Got 2 out of the 3 speed debuffs applied and brought real low health down on I Know Kung Fu's priest and archer here. It looks like we've got on Dragnapur's side, we've got a seer, archer, warrior team, and on I Know Kung Fu's is a warrior, priest, archer. This particular tournament does allow heroes up to level 20, which is our current level max. So these are very high level, very competitive heroes. And then the other restriction on this tournament is all of them have to be a unique class. So there's no double archers, double warriors, anything like that, which really brings out some of the variety in combat gameplay.
I have a quick question. And
Yes.
I don't know if you have an answer. Who's the favorite in this match and who's the underdog?
Here, let's look. Technically speaking, from our community, the underdog in this match is I Know Kung Fu. So almost 75% of voters voted for Dragnapur to take this one home. And I'll be honest, right now it's looking like that might have been a good vote, but we'll see what I Know Kung Fu has up his sleeve to respond. I would never count him out either.
I don't know. I always go for the underdog, so I'm with I Know Kung Fu. Oh wait, who's the underdog? Who's the underdog? I Know Kung Fu, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah, I Know Kung Fu is the underdog at only 25% of the votes, but he can be pretty crafty, so you got to keep an eye on him. You can't count him out too early. For anybody who is not familiar with DeFi Kingdoms combat, there's a lot going on here, right? That's okay. So up at the top, we have our time bar. So this will show you turn order and when your hero will go next, as well as when your enemies will be going next. Here in the corners, you've got your shot clock. So each player has 30 seconds to make their next move once it is their hero's turn. And then beyond that, you've got the heroes themselves. everything you see in this game is tokenized. So your heroes are NFTs, all of their weapon and armors are also NFTs, all of their potions are ERC20 tokens, and then based on their class, they can come in and choose what skills they want to have for that hero. So you can see here on each hero's turn, their menu opens so that they can select a skill. I know Kung Fu's warrior is up now. We are spectating from the side of Dragnapor, so we can't see I know Kung Fu's selections in real time. But going with the Gladiator Strike, chance to inflict bleed, which did not proc this time. Oh, no, it did proc. Never mind. It did. And outside of that, so Dragnapor's Berserker taking some bleed damage there to start the turn. And then you can see his skills. I'm going to guess he will do exactly that. He did it fast, so now I get to sound right whether I was or not. But coming out hard with a lot of damage, dropping the sharpshooter from his archer in order to bring down I know Kung Fu's archer. That's going to be hard to come back from. Dragnapor is definitely hurting for mana. He's spending it pretty quick, but I know Kung Fu has lost his primary damage dealer and will be relying on his warrior to try to chip away at these pretty much full health bars of Dragnapor.
Nice. And can you explain also, because this is happening exclusively on Metis, the Coliseum, and as you can see, they're in the Coliseum. You see the background. Us as spectators, we're one of those little characters in the crowd. Maybe later we'll pick out which one's you and which one's me. So can you explain, since it's happening on Metis, real quick for our Metisians, how, from the process of setting up a match all the way to the very end, so the entire process of a match, not just the battle phase, but the entire process, how are transactions being made on the Metis chain?
Yeah, for sure. Which, yes, so this is exclusive on Metis, and we can even see, ooh, the priest survives with 18 health. Oh, that's going to be interesting. We can even see here in the background, you got the nice Metis logo over the
nice
here. Little sneaky Easter egg. I will say real quick, this is probably the most complicated background in our game to date, with all of these very, very small animations and everything. So huge shout out to our art team for it, because it is beautiful. But to answer your actual question, yes. So everything we do is run on chain with the exception of the combat itself. So what you're seeing in here right now is actually not using transactions, because it would be very interrupting if every move you made, you had to confirm a transaction. It would not be an enjoyable experience. However, when you create a match, that is a transaction. The other player joining the match is also a transaction. Going into the match and coming out of the match are both transactions as well. And especially the transaction of coming out of the match is a very important one for us, because that's where we save all of the data from the match to the chain. So even though we do the combat itself off chain, we then save the results and all of the data onto the chain. Real quick side note, what we just saw there was our environmental damage from the audience throwing tomatoes at our competitors because they are taking too long. So at a certain time within the match, the tomatoes begin, and then periodically they will continue doing increased damage each time. And that's really just done to make sure that things keep moving, because the next round of the tournament won't start until the entire round is complete, and we don't want somebody to drag out a tournament for hours on end by stalling out and just generally dragging things out. In terms of tournaments in particular, a lot of the transactions are actually done on our end by our executor. So, rolling the bracket is a transaction. And then between rounds, we're going to roll another bracket, which will be another transaction. So with tournaments, especially, a lot of the transactions actually take place on our side. There are still a few from the player side as well. And then with private matches, pretty much everything is on the player side for the most part.
I see. Cool. Thanks for breaking that down. I love the tomato feature. That's so cool. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's a new piece that we added for tournaments specifically, like I said,
Uh,
just to make sure that time that it keeps moving. We want our 16-man tournament, generally speaking, you're going to see it be about an hour and a half from start to
mhm,
finish. And we just want to preserve that time and respect people's time. We don't
mhm.
want anybody to get trapped into a 8-hour tournament because somebody is intentionally delaying things.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even if they got like some other stuff that comes up and they just have to leave the game, then you're just gonna get smacked with tomatoes and not just stall the game, even if it's accidentally,
Right.
emergency or something.
Which
That's
that
pretty.
one we do have a second protection for. So we talked about the 30-second shot clock. After 4 violations, you automatically
Uh,
forfeit for that
mm,
exact reason because sometimes things happen, right?
mhm.
Life
Yeah.
happens. And so that way, if you walk away and you didn't forfeit, it will kind of end itself pretty quickly. So we can see here, Dragnapor was victorious, has pulled out the victory. You get a little report on the health and mana of his heroes remaining. You can also view a play-by-play and copy a link to this match. And you can see he did not use any potions in this match, which we'll talk a little bit about potions here in just a minute as well. One thing that is interesting to note, all of our battles, whether they be PvE, PvP, doesn't matter, any battle actually generates a unique URL so that you can always go back and rewatch those battles. So, especially for content creators, if you're playing in a tournament that you're not live streaming, but you have a really great match, great. You just pull up the link next time you're streaming and you can showcase it for your audience. So we can see here, this actually worked out very well because it's kind of in between rounds. So we can see here Dragnapor won, so he has moved on. Our second battle is still happening, so we don't know his opponent yet. And you can see that kind of carry on down through for looks like 3 matches have completed so far. We also have this handy refresh button so we can keep an eye on it. Let's pop in. Let's see what's going on. Actually, you know what? That's biased. I'm going to go to the bottom. I started at the top. Now I'm going to the bottom. No bias. Let's see what's going on in this match between 91 Karmas and Franz. It's going to take a second to load because I'm screen sharing and everything hates screen sharing. Anyway, so with potions, one thing that I wanted to talk about as well. So we utilize a weight system. So every potion has a weight assigned to it, and normally in like a single PvP match, you can decide. When you make the match, you can decide how much weight of potions you're allowed to bring in, but then beyond that, you just fill up that weight and bring it in. With tournaments, what we've done is we actually give you a total weight for the entire tournament plus a weight that you are allowed to use per match. So there is also an interesting dynamic of wanting to hold back potions if you are able to, in order to have access to more potions in the later matches. Franz and 91 Karmas into the tomatoes here. This is going to be an interesting one. Franz has 2 heroes go down to that last round of tomatoes, but
Wow. They're
that
throwing
rapid
rocks now. They're throwing
might
rocks.
be enough. I mean, 91 Karma's goal at this point is to end it or to heal up to survive the next barrage of tomatoes, but he was able he was able to lock in that victory and go ahead and close it out. And so you
Are
can
there?
see 91 Karmas did use a few potions in his match.
Mm-hmm. And so there's concurrent matches going on
Correct. Yeah. So the entire round plays
at
at
the same
one
time.
time.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. And then we have built in a little bit of a window of time between the rounds. So you can see this game's still going on, this one's still going on, and this one's still going on. The other 5 are completed. So we can actually take a look at Shock Velo and 91 Karmas as our example for influence voting. So we've built in a little bit of a time window between each match to give people time to come in and cast their votes. So the next round will start in just under 6 minutes. We're doing 25-minute rounds. And so you can see this match is sponsored automatically with 10 Joule. With our tournament system, every match except for a couple are automatically sponsored using the entry fees that our competitors have paid. So the entry fees are then used to sponsor all of the matches so that people can come in and cast their votes. At the end of the match, 10% of the sponsorship amount will go to the winner of the match, and the other 90% will get to split up amongst everyone who voted correctly based on how much influence they put on that winner. So you can also come here and you can check out their teams. So you can see this is a Mythic Archer, Priest, and Berserker team. And 91 Karmas has a Legendary Archer, Mythic Warrior, and Legendary Priest that he is using. And you can check out the full hero details as well if you want to see what kind of equipment they've got on. Check out their Vizzies, see what they look like. You can see all of that information to help inform your vote. So then you can come here and say, vote on the bout. I'm going to cast my vote for 91 Karmas because he's the current underdog. I'm going to make him the current favorite because why not? We'll see how long it takes for other people to come in and override it. But for right now, 91 Karmas will be the new favorite once this transaction finishes. And so you can come in and you can do that for every match. So all of these matches have the opportunity to come in and vote on them. You do have to wait for both participants to be decided because we don't want people blindly one-sided voting. And then, you vote for Dragnapor because you think he's going to go against Cryptopeer. Esper pulls it out and you've already voted. We want to make sure that both sides are decided prior to anybody casting their votes. Let's check in on these guys. They should be pretty close to done. Probably going to either be over. Yep, already over. All right. I was going to check in on them, but it finished right as I tried to hop in. Let's see.
In the last battle that we were just on, their shields look like sunny side up eggs.
Yes, so that is our who was that? That was these guys. That is our yoked Buckler. I can't say it right. So this is one of our equipment drops from our Bad Mother Clucker hunt, which is honestly, right now, the best shield in the game. That may change. That will change. Let's be honest. It will change. But for right now, the Yoked Buckler is
Alpha.
the best item in the game, or the best shield in the game, I should say. And that's one really fun thing, too, that we can talk about here for a couple minutes while we wait on this next bracket to roll, which it looks like it might be rolling right now. What is it? Screen share and anything just don't get along very well. But a lot of people ask why we build multi-chain, why we go cross-chain, what are the advantages, right? And so, using the Yoked Buckler as an example, that is a drop from the Bad Mother Clucker hunt, which is on our Crystal Veil realm, which is on DFK Chain, our Avalanche L1. That is a perfect example, really. Activity on Crystal Veil has resulted in that shield's existence. That shield then ends up being used in the Sundered Isles on Metis in the Colosseum. And so every area offers something unique, and those unique aspects of each area feed into and encourage activity on the other areas. And so that's really the whole premise and why we set out to build cross-chain in the first place, is to integrate communities, integrate ecosystems, and be the bridge, pun intended, between different chains and different ecosystems to bring it all together in one place where we're encouraging Avalanche users to come use Metis, and we're encouraging Metis users to come use Avalanche as well, and really just breaking some of that like chain maxi mentality that definitely exists out there in our space.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm a chain maxi, but of course,
I think you're
need
obligated
to be.
to be fair.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, it reminds me kind of like of the Pokemon regions. We got like the Kanto region, the Johto region. They could all like, they support each other. Or like you can take items and other things from one region into another, and have maybe even having advantages in another region because of that.
And
Yeah.
that's really what it's all about, is bringing it all together in a cohesive ecosystem. All right, let's see. I started at the top last time, so I'm going to start at the bottom this time. Wow, that was fantastic timing. I did not do that intentionally, but we are live now with our round 2 matches.
Let's go.
So we've got Shock Velo here on the left playing 91 Karmas on the right. We took a look at their teams before, but as a reminder, Shock Velo is running an Archer Priest Berserker combo, and 91 Karmas a Warrior Priest Archer combo.
There's nobody with a full team of monks.
So no full teams of monks. No, only you. Which one of the restrictions on this tournament is that all 3 classes must be different. So that is fun as well.
Yeah.
Which one other thing as we kick off this match that your monk comment reminded me of, but I wanted to mention as well. So for those familiar and those not familiar, as it currently stands, there are 6 classes that have their skills available in combat, what we call combat ready. Those are Archer, Berserker, Seer, Knight, Priest, and Warrior. However, we have many other classes to go. So we are, actively working on adding more classes to the combat system. And what that really does is lead to very, very, very regular meta shifts. So even what we're seeing today from our combatants is being like their preferred strategies or very strong strategies. Those are all going to rapidly change as we introduce other classes, and it will be a complete shift to the strategy in the meta. And I'm really excited for that. Most people know because I'm pretty open about it, but I'm a very, very bad long-term League player. I love the game. I just am not good at it, but it's a blast. But that's one of the most fun things every time they introduce a new champion, is it really changes up that whole meta situation. And so we're going to get to see those same vibes, same experience in DeFi Kingdoms combat. And I'm really excited for that. Really looking forward to it. That's
really cool. If I could add something, I think the thing I probably love the most about DeFi Kingdoms is that like it evolves. Like it evolves in so many ways, and when a product can evolve, and it's organically evolving by the players, the gamers, the users themselves. In terms of not just like the style or the regions, but also like the gameplay itself, the strategies, and like people, it's kind of like it's a bunch of stuff to be discovered that not even the creators maybe know of. It's like you're creating your own universe, you're creating your own universe, and you're discovering it as well with the people who are actually gaming and using the actual product or part of the universe, you can call it. And so I really love that, and I think that's kind of like the magic that gaming can bring. But as we see in Web3, not a lot of games have offered that yet, and you all are one of the first. You guys are pioneering like actual dope gaming and fun gaming and evolving gameplay in a blockchain ecosystem. So I think it's really cool. I think it's like something that I really like. I admire. I'm like, dang, every time I talk to you all, like things are always changing, and it's organic changing too. It's not always like top down. Changes.
No, really appreciate that. Yeah, it's exciting, and yeah, you're right. Like it's very, very player driven. Especially with the approach we take, where essentially everything is created in game. So all of these NFTs are created by players. All of the NFT weapons and equipment are found by players. So it makes it a lot of fun to watch it unfold, because there's times, good or bad, that we expect things to go one way and they just don't, because the players have driven them another. That's great. Like it's not a it's never a bad thing for our players to be guiding the game from within the game, which is really cool. One thing I wanted to touch on real quick, we're gonna before I do that, actually, so as we can see here, it's a pretty even matchup at the moment. Everybody's still pretty well healed up and pretty well mana'd. I would say Shock Velo's maybe a little bit lower on mana, but yeah, this is shaping up to be a very, very good match, very evenly matched.
Like
but
the Lakers and Celtics.
Exactly. I'm going to hide this combat for just a minute because I want to talk about something that Shock Velo has on his Berserker. We were talking about equipment and how it comes from gameplay. This is the Cowl of Eternal Hunger. So this is actually an item that is found in patrols on Metis. It is a mythic accessory drop, and if I remember correctly, so we have had over 90,000 battles fought in the patrol system already. It's been a little shy of 2 months since we launched it, and I believe there are 4 of these that have ever been found so far. So this is a very, very, very rare item. It also has a really cool ability. It is our first piece of equipment that actually gives a hero an additional ability in combat. So when his next, let's see, there's his warrior. When his warrior comes up, we'll actually see that ability for his hero in its options. It is so far the only piece of equipment that adds something that you can do in combat, and the ability is called Devour. So it does damage to an opponent and heals you for that much damage. So you can see that right here. So it will deal 366 damage roughly, depending on resistances and all that stuff. And then half of what is dealt actually gets healed back to this hero. Nice. So really excited to see one of these in this tournament, because there just are not very many of them. So we don't see them too often yet. But yeah, huge shout out to Shock using the cowl.
That's awesome. And it can be used in every match.
Yep. So it's one time per match, but it refreshes in each battle within the tournament.
Nice. It reminds me of like I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and it reminds me of just like a special like I think there's trap cards, and I think the other ones were they magic? I can't remember, but it reminds me like one of those kind of cards where it's like you use it once and it's just like a really good card that like everyone wants, because if you use it, it's like you're like inflicting damage and recovering at the same time, and that's rare to find.
It is very rare to find. And so, yeah, I think that is something that we will see more of in the future with select equipment, offering actual like direct in-game abilities to use, as well as, of course, the boosts that they give. So, the cowl, for example, that's all that one does. All it does is give you the ability, but it has enchantment slots. So later on, you'll be able to add even more to this. You could, use it to give yourself some armor. Whoops, nope, don't do that. You could use it to give yourself some armor or to give yourself some resistance to something else. So it can become a very multifaceted item. But I'm really, I had no idea that he was using it when I opened this match. Now I'm just super happy, because it's a great example of, that in-game economy of equipment being sourced by content, by combat, by playing the game. And there's only 4 of them. There's actually another mythic drop from patrols that there's still only 1 of. Only a single one has been found so far. So it's been really fun watching people, go after them and celebrate when they get them. It's been really cool.
I have 2 big ideas, or yeah, I guess ideas for DFK. Like, okay, so two. Well, the first one, have y'all ever thought about actually creating physical cards? And like creating a card game, turning this into a physical card game, and it'll be both. And then the other idea is it's probably big, this is huge, and this will probably take a long time to do, but just as a thought would be awesome. It's like a dream if y'all made it like a Pokemon Go game. You know what I'm saying? Like going around the Sundered Isles, but like in person with your phone, like a metaverse, like you know, augmented reality. That would be crazy.
So to the first one, yes. So actually, one of our community members, by the name of Zealous, made like a deck of cards that are all themed with different DFK heroes on them, which is super cool. They came out absolutely beautiful. Huge shout out to him. If you're interested, he does have them on his merch store, and I believe it's linked on our merch store. It should be. So check those out. They turned out absolutely beautiful. They're gold edged, and then each suit is a different rarity of hero. Every card has a unique hero on it. There's a few pets thrown in the mix. They turned out beautiful. I do think it could be really, really fun to like expand it into a TCG. That said, probably not in the near future. We got a lot to do before that, but I do think that would be a really cool option to adding like another facet of gameplay through like a true TCG, which we have kind of a like war style TCG mini game, which we call duels, where, you know, it's your hero, their hero, random stat gets compared, that kind of thing. But I think we could build out a lot more there. As far as your second question, I think that would be epic. Again, not anytime soon, but I do think that would be really cool to have. I think just having like an augmented reality where you can hang out in the Sundered Isles, just period, would be really fun. You can, you know, walk down the beach and all that kind of stuff.
Patrolling.
I think really cool. Who do you know that's doing AR stuff?
Man, I actually met somebody before, but I don't think he knew what he was doing. So
not him. I need
yeah, that would be cool though. There's so much like crazy, there's so amazing things you can do, because especially with like gaming and the ecosystem you've all built out, it's like it's an entire universe, you know. So there's so much you can just build on and create and imagine.
And Second Best Dad, our art director, is here in chat volunteering to do anything that I sign him up for right now. So it's a great opportunity.
Nice. I'm gonna make a DFK go.
Exactly.
Oh.
We are getting it's getting close to tomato time here for Shock Velo and 91 Karmas. They are still very, very evenly matched. Both of them are having a hard time getting damage to stick, but both of them are starting to get a bit lower on the mana side. So it's going to get interesting here soon. It's very possible that this one, the tomatoes, will be a very relevant factor for this match. Shock's Berserker is up. He has not used Devour yet. We'll see if he chooses to take advantage of that in this game. I do think now. Oh, yep, there it is. I called it. Yes, I'm on fire today. I'm going to compliment myself. But
that's
bringing up the Devour, probably in anticipation of the tomatoes, realistically, wanting to lower his opponent's health and get a little extra for himself to withstand those tomatoes. Got a heal coming in from the priest as well for the same reason. He is wanting to be as high health as possible for that damage that just came in.
I got an idea for your art director. What if y'all implemented fatalities like Mortal Kombat, and like if it was a tomato fatality, instead of fatality it says tomato, and then there's like a whole like scene where like a tomato just smashes you and your head explodes, and like, you know, very gory, like.
I fully support this. We are, you know, we're always looking to improve. We're always looking to add more stuff. We have talked about, you know, tomatoes are our first form of environmental damage, but there's options for other types of things as well, and other sudden death mechanics. He did say in chat that he likes oh God, I can't say the word. Tomotality.
Tomato.
There we go.
Tomato.
So, he likes the tomotality, and
Tomotality. I like that.
Sticks intern coming in with the suggestion of Fatal Lamato. So there's a lot of wordplay here, and as you can tell from the yoked Bachler, we do love our puns. So honestly, I give a lot of credit to our creatives. So you've got the yoked Bachler. This is also the Excalibur sword as well. A lot of our equipment has really fun names, and I love it. It's fun. You can also see on Shock Velo's Berserker here, this is the Hercules visage. So that's why his hero looks abnormally jacked compared to everybody else. So shout out to Hercules Dex for the partnership on that visage. You've got the Karate Combat Champion gear here from Karate Combat as well. The silly axolotl head, which is just fun. Not in partnership with anybody, but a good time. Now I'm getting a hard time about my inability to pronounce anything. Yes, I know.
I'm like reading the whole chat right now because I've had it on full screen just watching the game, and I'm catching up, and I'm like,
I don't know why I am incapable of saying words right now. I decided to go live, and my ability to speak just plummeted. So, it is what it is.
Stage fright.
Yeah. Sure, let's blame it on that. I like it. It's going to be interesting here. Shock's Priest is almost guaranteed to go down. No mana left on the Priest. He's decided to drop a smoke bomb to try to add some evasion. There's the next round of tomatoes taking out that Priest. It's going to come down to the wire here. Shock's Archer is also out of mana or ammo, either one. 91 Karma is also out of mana on that Archer, but he still has mana left on his Priest and his Warrior. I would guess that he is holding on to that mana for the Priest to try to heal up to keep surviving the tomatoes, because it's definitely gonna come down. Yep, there it is right there. 2 crits on that heal too. Wow, 2 crits back to full health, or almost full health in the case of the Priest. That is gonna hurt for Shock Velo. He is gonna just try to knock out anything he can to weaken them, bring them down a hair for these tomatoes that are just gonna keep coming. I think 91 Karmas is likely going to take this one home. It looks like, his Priest has enough mana to do another team heal too. And I don't think Shock has the ability to take that Priest out as his Berserker goes down, and it is just his Archer lone man standing, trying to get some defense up. Unfortunately, that defense will not help against the Tomato Barrage. But the next round of tomatoes, it might take out the Warrior. Nope, never mind. 91 Karma is just continuing to heal up to survive the incoming tomatoes, trying to chip away a little bit at Shock Velo's only hero remaining to bring that hero down. This one is going to be decided by environmental damage, and I think we know, unfortunately for Shock Velo, which way that decision is going to go. Low health and no mana remaining. There's just not much he can do to stop it.
You know what's great about having a really awesome game too in Web3, or just in the blockchain world, because right now it's not a fun time in the industry for the market. But when you have like an actual awesome product that's fun to use, like a game, it's like you're not paying attention to the market or the token price, things like that. Because I mean, we're here to play the game, and collect the NFTs. Like there's this, like, collecting is actually fun here. You know, like the first NFT run was like, yeah, it was about collecting, but it was all speculative, you know, and it was all financially related. And come here, like you can collect NFTs and things like that, but they're like you use them to play games. They look cool, like you know, it's like this is a something that is not affected by, you know, like market action or things like that, or sentiment that's in the industry because of price action, things like that. It's like it's something we can do, whether it's a bull market, bear market, whatever, crab market. Like we could always have fun and play DeFi Kingdoms and collect NFTs and still use blockchain in a way that's fun. You know, that doesn't matter what else is going on beyond out there. You know.
Yeah. No, I agree with that for sure. And that's the whole goal of gaming, right? Come play, have fun. Like that's the dream. You know, there's plenty of stuff to speculate on, there's plenty of stuff to do, and that applies to games too. There's plenty of stuff in DeFi Kingdoms to speculate on. Feel free. But you know, we want people to be able to come in and just play the game and have fun no matter what else is happening. And you know, if you're placing high enough in tournaments, you're winning rewards as well, so even better. You know, there's a lot of opportunity there, but just something that's different, something that feels better, something that's it's just enjoyment. You know, come play the game, have fun, relax, enjoy. Like that's the dream. All right, let's take a look. So we saw 91 Karmas win over Shock Velo. We also have Fex taking down Ibla. Lord Giamis getting into the semifinals here, as well as Dragnapor, which I will say we've got a couple of really big, actually, all four of the players that did not make it out of this previous round have won tournaments previously. These are all like really, you know, high quality players. So I would guess there's a couple upsets in there. Esper, Super Bowl, Ibla, and Shock Velo giving it up. And so we got 91 Karmas.
Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
Is this everyone within this I don't know what to call it, level, or are there more people that, like, you know, aren't participating in this level that may face these people?
Oh later? Yeah, for sure. There's definitely other players at this level as well. So like this tournament actually, so this is a 16 player tournament. Like I mentioned earlier, entries open an hour before the tournament starts. There were 14 of the 16 players signed up within the first 5 minutes. So there definitely was a bit of a race to get into this one, which is awesome to see as well. Let's see, looking at the semifinals, Fex has also won a tournament previously. I know 91 Karmas has made it at least pretty far into a tournament. I don't remember if he has won one or not. And I don't believe Dragnapor or Lord Giamis have won one yet. Nice. But today is a new day. It's a new tournament, and we may see one of them come out on top right in front of our very eyes.
The Stanley Cup is going to a new home.
Exactly. And that's the other fun thing too with the different rule sets and everything is it forces different strategies, right? So, you know, somebody might have been winning tournaments using 2 archers and a warrior, but in this particular format, they're not allowed to use 2 archers. So it really keeps things fresh, keeps things mixed up, and gives people an opportunity to come in with different team builds, different strategies, and different things to try out and see how they do.
I'm catching up on the chat. Second best dad, who I believe is the art director. He says, "Shout out to the cabbage and onion nobody talks about."
Yes, along with the tomatoes, there are cabbages and onions. Yeah, so 91 Karmas has not won one yet. He lost in the semifinals, and makes a good point. While I don't know if RNG hates him specifically or not, it may. But, you know, that is another very relevant factor. You know, your moves have chances to miss. Like, there's a lot going on to where there's always a chance to compete, mix things up, make things interesting. So we've got a minute and a half until our next battle starts. Again, like I mentioned before, all of these are sponsored, so you can come in here and vote on them as well. I don't even remember who I voted on in the last rounds, but let's do some voting.
I think we got a name for the Mortal Kombat fatality style addition to the game. Call it Vegetality.
Vegetality, I like it. And it gives some love. 91 Karmas, I'm voting for you. Don't let me down. It gives some love to those cabbages and onions that no one talks about.
Vegetality, not tomatotality. Vegetality. There's more than one. It's diverse.
You got this, 91 Karmas. You got this. Don't worry about those stuns. They might miss. Maybe RNG hates him today. You never know.
Damaged sandwiches.
I like that. That's better. SBD, redo the animation to just throwing like foot-long subs.
Splat.
Yeah,
I like Vegetality because it looks like Vegeta. It says Vegeta, and then
true.
So it looks cool.
True. We're gonna flip back to the top of the bracket for this next match, and we're gonna check out the Dragnapur Lord Giamis match. While I won't be watching you, 91 Karmas, I did vote for you, and I'll be thinking of you against Fex's monstrous team. But we will be checking out Dragnapur here on the left again, Lord Giamis on the right. We have got a Seer Archer and Warrior combo. Skipped one, sorry. Seer Archer and Warrior combo going against a Warrior Archer and Priest team as well. So this hub is also viewable to our players. I mentioned the shot clock earlier. We actually don't start the shot clock for the first 2 minutes of the match in order to give players a chance to come in here, check out the enemy team, see who they're going up against, what their traits are, what abilities they've selected. So that way you aren't going in entirely blind. You have a little bit of time at the beginning to get a feel for what team you're going to be facing.
That's really well thought out. I love all the thoughtfulness of the way it's set up. That makes sense, you know?
Yeah, we want to have fun competitive play, but we want to try to keep it, fair and informed and let people be able to play to the best of their abilities. And I will say it could be fun to have blind matches. Like I think it could be entertaining for neither to know what the other one has, but realistically, it's more practical for both of them to know. It's more sustainable, less chaotic. I just like the chaotic side of things.
Yeah.
Oh man, SBD pointed out in chat, but they aren't paired. I'm sad now. We've got on Lord Giamis's side, we've got a pair of purple pants, and we've got a green skull or a green skinned hero wearing the Hercules visage. But if you put them together, if you put the purple pants on this guy, it's basically the Hulk. So Lord Giamis, we're gonna have to talk after this. I need you to move your pants over so that you can have the quintessential Hulk. But yeah, huge shout out again to Hercules for that visage partnership. It's beautiful. And speaking of Metis themselves, represented here on the Priest, we've got the Metisian toga and the Crown of Wisdom, it looks like. Let's take a look at this.
All right, I'm going for them now. Hell yeah.
Yeah, looking absolutely incredible. We can flip over to the visages here. So we've got the toga and the Crown of Wisdom. I love those green butterfly wings as well, which is something that we haven't talked about, is all the cosmetics of the heroes themselves. There's some absolutely incredible looking heroes, green skin here, along with the, I think these are the skeletal wings, if I remember the name correctly. Renpen would hit me for not knowing the name off the top of my head. But the left side much more favoring armor itself over visages and aesthetics. We'll see how that works out for them, though. Deathmark coming in on the Seer. Dragnapor taking the shield approach with all of the bubbles, the barriers, to absorb some damage. Also taking a moment on his archer's turn to consider what to do here. Looks like he's already used Hunter's Mark once, and it is on 2 of the 3 enemies. So I would imagine he'll be wanting to kick off some damage. Yep, going into the sharpshooter channel. So that'll channel for a moment, and then we'll find out how much damage it will do. And now it's up to his warrior. It's seeming like he should be pretty much in damage mode. Oh, actually going for Nuff. Okay. Doing a little bit of defensive. You can check here with the battle logs, very, very useful as well. So you can see Nuff redirects 100% of physical damage from the ally behind that hero for 2 turns. So he's really protecting that archer is what he's setting out to do there. And then you can see as Lord Giamis used that rapid shot from his archer, any damage that would have gone on to Dragnapor's goes to his warrior instead. So trying to set up a little bit of a defensive position to protect that archer and make sure that he can keep dealing damage out from it. The Seer is up. We'll see if he chooses to go heal or damage. He's got a delayed heal coming up momentarily anyway. And there's that sharpshooter going off, doing a solid chunk of damage to Lord Giamis's priest. If I'm Lord Giamis at this point, any kind of defensive maneuvering that he can do, he went for the Daze attempt, did not. Nope, it did. Nope, it did not proc. So he went for that Daze attempt, but yeah, really just trying to get himself set up for a little bit more of a defensive position, especially with the barriers. I imagine those barriers are coming from the Seer's Artificer ability. Let's take a look. Yep. So every 7th one of the Seer's turns, all 3 of these heroes are going to get a barrier, which is just a lot more health for Lord Giamis to have to make his way through. I was reading chat, and our art director said it was a real challenge to make chicken themed armor look cool. But hey, you did it, so good job. And you've got the drumstick wand here on the Seer as well. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for Lord Giamis to hold out against Dragnapor. He's in a much more defensive position, but still putting out a pretty good amount of damage himself as well. And there's that barrier refresh for the whole team. That's a huge passive. Costs nothing. Get your whole team a little bit of protection as well. And it's back to his Seer. Will we see more healing or some damage coming out? Let's find out. I gotta imagine that Warstone is looking pretty tempting. Yep, there it is. So he's going to channel up the Warstone. Now it's back to his archer. Might go for the dead aim combo here. Otherwise, either sharpshooter or precision strike are very good options. But I have to assume Lord Giamis's priest is still going to be his target, because if he can remove his healing, it's gonna be tough for Lord Giamis to survive with no healer. Coming in with the whirlwind, clearing out all 3 barriers. That is solid, and landing 2 slow debuffs as well.
That was like a fatality.
Uh, that was a very, very strong move from Lord Giannis. He definitely has a little bit of a mana advantage, and honestly is in a much better place health-wise now. Oh, taking out the Seer. I might have spoke too soon. Lord Giannis is turning this battle on its head, coming out strong.
Putting it down for Metis.
Yep.
Got the toga,
Got,
he's got the crown.
yep, can't lose. Toga
Can't
crown,
lose.
can't lose.
This is your Coliseum, bro.
That was a major turn of events. The priest is still vulnerable to Dragnapor's archer, but busting out an ability to try to chip away some damage on the P3 with that warrior who normally doesn't have the range to do so. But his priest will take a turn immediately following this archer and have a chance to heal back up before Dragnapor has a chance to do more damage to him. He also has a Holy Beacon, which is a heal over time. So he's automatically going to heal at the start of his turn and then have a chance to heal even more if that's what he chooses to do, which I have to imagine is what he will do. Yep, there it is right there. His other heroes are both pretty full health. He's not going to be in kill range by damaging with the priest. Best bet is just to keep that priest looking healthy. And taking out the Seer is such a clutch move too, because there's no more passive barriers coming, which passive barriers are very strong. So being able to eliminate that option, that is powerful. Coming in back with the Hunter's Mark, that's going to do damage at the start of every turn as well. So now there's damage and healing at the start of each priest's turn. Dragnapor going on the offensive here. His warriors up. Will he whirlwind? Probably not. My guess is he's either going to basic attack to set up for gladiator strike or gladiator strike to set up for rapid onslaught. With where he's at this point, I would probably skip the basic attack myself. Oh, health vial. Okay. That works as well. Choosing to swig down a potion. That does use less initiative as well, so it'll be his turn sooner. So not a bad move by any means. And I imagine anticipating the mixed assortment of vegetables that our art director created that has multiple vegetables in it, not just tomatoes, that will be coming out in approximately 1 minute. So probably a few turns to go before that happens, but definitely looks like Dragnapor is trying to prepare. Lord Giannis is in a pretty good place for it already, with all three of his heroes doing pretty well on the health side. Both of them still have some mana, but starting to get down into the lower mana pool side of things. Especially on Dragnapor's archer. He has one, maybe two more abilities that he'll be able to cast, or skills that he'll be able to cast without a mana potion before he is tapped dry. Lord Giannis still has plenty of flexibility from his mana pool. Yep, prepping up some defense for the incoming damage. Again, that will not negate the tomato damage / mixed vegetable damage, but it will help protect him from the damage of Lord Giannis in the meantime, as Lord Giannis is going to be looking to get him down into as low health as possible to try to take advantage of the vegetable medley. And there's the first round of vegetables. Everybody survives. There's going to be 2 stacks of Hunter's Mark on each of Lord Giannis's heroes as their turns start. So that is going to be doing some damage, but the priest still has that Holy Beacon for one more turn, so it's going to be doing some healing as well. But it is definitely aggressive time. It's all out aggression, I would expect, from Lord Giannis as he tries to bring them down and finish this match out. So there's the heal, there's the damage. He ended up taking a net 20 damage after the heal as well, which is not too bad. He's going to heal up the whole team, making sure that when that next round of vegetable medley comes in, it does not take him down. Salad barrage. There we go. I liked vegetable medley, but salad barrage can work.
Yeah, I like both. I like both. Salad barrage is nice. Veggie medley.
Veggie medley. There we go. I just, I want to make sure that we give respect to the non-tomato vegetables. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just leave out the cabbages and the onions. Which amusingly are one of our other artists goes by the name of Cappy. So Cappy the cabbage. Right there for you.
When you get hit, could be like, "Wow, you've been medleyed."
Dragnapor using the last of the mana on that archer. And, ooh, interesting. Lord Giamis using a mana vial to give some mana back to his priest so that he can keep up those heals. It is a bit... What's that?
No, I was reading the chat. We wonder why food prices are going up. You notice there's no eggs being thrown.
Nope, no eggs. Can't afford them. There's actually a Sunderdial Gardens. All of our vegetable medley is locally sourced right here in the Sunderdials. Yeah, very much a game of endurance at this point as the vegetable medley continues to chip away at all of these heroes. Dragnapor not wanting to give another turn to Lord Giamis's priest here where he can heal back up again, but it's pretty inevitable that it will happen because there's a shot clock, so he can only postpone so long. Choosing to quaff another health vial, trying to keep his man alive and trying to take down that priest at the same time, hoping, I imagine, that the next round of vegetables will come before the priest. Oh, and the priest is stunned too. I didn't even notice that. So the priest's next turn is skipped. Will Lord Giamis be able to keep his priest alive? Going in for the kill, hitting with the whirlwind. Do any of the speed debuffs go off? It does not look like it. The priest still surviving that vegetable barrage. Let's find out. Dragnapor's warrior, no abilities, very little mana. He's not going to be able to hit that priest. Over to Lord Giamis's archer now. Choosing to again go for the end and does manage to take out Dragnapor's archer with that rapid shot. And back to the archer again for a repeating shot. It won't be enough to secure the kill, but it does do a lot of damage to Dragnapor's warrior, who has no mana left, down to basic attacks. Looks like he might be out of potions as well. Lord Giamis, basic attacks in response, and the holy wrath from the priest coming in to finish the game. What a match that was. That was very, very well played, very evenly matched for a lot of that game, and a nice little reversal from Lord Giamis where I really thought he might have been in trouble, and he flipped the script and came out on top.
Yeah, that was a nice one, and I'm glad the Crown of Wisdom was conquered.
And it looks like Fex was able to take down 91 karmas, which means that Fex and Lord Giamis will be in the final match of this tournament in 6.5 minutes. As you can see, also, as you get further into the tournament, the sponsorship amounts do go up. So you can vote on every individual match, and the amounts for the sponsorships that you will get a share of do go up with each one. I have to vote for Lord Giamis. I feel like he's got to be the underdog against Fex, who is a multi-time tournament champion at this point. So I'm going to throw my vote for Lord Giamis, going for the underdog, rooting for you.
How could he be the underdog though? When it says Coliseum, he's got the Metisian toga, the crown of wisdom. He's repping. He's the underdog. Gotta win.
The problem is Fex has one too.
Oh, well, I hope I see it. Then I'll be stuck in the middle. And
actually, yeah, he's got the crown of wisdom.
That looks nice.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the space bun hair, and it threw me off for a second. I was like, wait, is that the crown? So he doesn't have the toga, but he does have the crown. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. 5.5 minutes until the final match begins. Dank Nation, we are not streaming in 720p. You might be getting it in 720p, but we're not streaming in it. I don't think. I'll have to double check. We shouldn't be, though. Anyway, 91 Karmas. I am excited to go back and watch that match of yours. I was rooting for you, but unfortunately, it did not work. But excited to see what you can pull out in the next one. Chat figuring out that their settings also matter for stream quality. I love it. While we wait, we've got just under 4.5 minutes to go. I did. What's that?
It says Bolon in pixel art.
Oh, I would look fantastic in pixel art.
Same here. I can purposely put it lower quality as a filter.
Right.
It could look better.
I did want to take a minute to remind people of the rewards. So we can see here are various players. However, the 2 players that just got eliminated will get rewards as well. So 3rd and 4th place both get $5, which is essentially their entry fee back, as well as a token to our Weekend Warrior tournament, which is the next step up in our tournament series. And then the match that we are about to watch, this final match, the winner of it will take home $30 and an equipment chest, and the loser of this final match will take home $15, as well as both of them also getting a token to the next step in our tournament series. Everyone who has been eliminated prior to now does also get a token for what we are calling our Revengers series. So you must essentially lose a tournament to get into the Revengers series, and it gives you an opportunity for some redemption along the way. So very excited for that. Also, here in the Sunderdials, alongside the Coliseum, there is crime just running rampant, and we need your heroes to go keep the streets clean by participating in patrols, where you will go and use your heroes to fend off various vagrants and general miscreants, to keep the streets of Submersia safe for its citizens. I mentioned earlier there is also a tweet about it, but we have seen over 90,000 battles fought in the patrol system in under 2 months, as well as over 30,000 patrols completed. So huge shout out to everybody who is taking part in that. But also, that is a source of equipment. One of those pieces of equipment we saw earlier on Shock Velo's turn, or on his team, which is a very, very, very rare piece of equipment. I believe there are 4 of them in existence as of now. The Cowl of Eternal Hunger, as well as several other pieces of equipment. So make sure you are checking that out and checking out the patrols as well. Wow, Lord Giamis going to be the major underdog going into this battle at currently just shy of 25% of the votes compared to 75% for Fex. So it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup here. I think a lot of people might be underestimating the Lord Giamis, and that might be a mistake, or they're properly estimating him and I'm mistaken. We're gonna find out. I really wish I had like a commercial, just because I think it'd be funny, but I don't think I have anything uploaded to like send us a commercial. It would be amusing though.
Imagine
recent announcements that Seer is going to be the next class, and after conferring with my family.
For those of you that know what that is, you're welcome. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was like, oh yeah, real commercial that we could get sponsors and have.
I'm saying we can have commercial breaks. We can do the whole 9 yards. I'm all for it.
Salad dressings, tomato companies, all that.
They're only salad based though. If it's not a vegetable, we won't advertise.
Yeah, it got to be lettuce, tomato, vinaigrette, something like that. Croutons.
Yes. Well, you started to say something and I interrupted. I'm sorry. What was it?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No. I was like, no, I was watching the commercial.
All right. It is time for the final match of today's tournament. Let's find out. Actually, though, I am going to exit it real quick because I did not see the final odds. Where did we end up? Lord Giamis even further underdog at just shy of 18%. Let's see.
I gotta go with Lord Giamis as the underdog and has the full Metis gear on.
I am for sure rooting for Lord Giamis because I voted for him and most other people didn't. So that would work out really well for me if he wins. So selfishly, for sure rooting for Lord Giamis, but excited to see this match unfold and see who is able to bring it home today.
Maddie asked, how deep do I want to get into the DFK lore? I'm down to go all the way.
Absolutely. If that was it, hang on. My whole computer is lagging on me.
No worries. Yeah, on our end, it's a little, we could see it. It's slow.
Calm down. All right. I think we might be good. Maybe not. There we go. All right. Yeah. Maddie is the guy in the few seconds of that video as he made a public apology for a very, very, very wrong prediction that he tried to make. He staked his reputation on what we were going to do next, and he was just wrong. And so he made a public apology video that is very glorious. I love that video, and I'm so happy to spin it out sometimes and just remind people about it. The Tagwas, yes. Somebody to take care of the baby Tagwas, okay? So, getting into this match, Lord Giamis has come out strong, putting some damage down on Fex's team very, very early, trying to get that early game advantage. He is kind of going into a very similar matchup as what he just defeated with the Seer that is going to be providing regular barriers to his opponent's team. He's shown once that he knows how to take care of that. So let's see if he can pull it off a second time. Already getting that Seer down to half health. I think he's definitely going to be prioritizing trying to take that Seer out of the game so that he does not have to worry about those ongoing barriers, much like he did in the previous game. So it's very interesting to see him go into a very comparable team as his prior victory. Keeping his team nice and healed up. Sharpshooter comes out. Big damage on the priest. Fex likely looking to do the same and try to take away Lord Giamas's ability to heal as well. Oh, popping a health vial on the seer in order to get that immediate health boost, not taking any chances on letting Lord Giamas take that seer down. Oh, coming in with the poison. Okay. Lord Giamas dropping the poison blade again to just chip away at the health of that seer and potentially open up a kill window for himself. Fex, knowing that Lord Giamas had a repeating shot on deck set to just kill that seer outright and making sure that he prevented it with the health vial. Going for the stun on the priest, but unfortunately not getting it. Now Whirlwind coming in. We'll see how these slows apply. Wow. None. All right. Lord Giamas's team holding steady. Oh, but another big shot on the priest takes the priest out before Lord Giamas has a chance.
No, not the Metis priest.
Yep, the Metis priest is
we're
down.
done.
He
We're
did
done.
die to the archer wearing the crown of wisdom.
We're done, bro. We're done.
That is definitely going to be tough to come back from for Lord Giamas with no healing outside of potions on his team. I don't believe either of his heroes that are alive have a resurrection trait or a healing trait. They do not. So that is it for that priest. And this just became a much more difficult match for Lord Giamas to try to hold strong with no healing available to him. Ooh, lands the daze on the seer, trying to slow down that seer's next turn and slow down the barrier production. Fex's archer now up, dropping a speed boost so that he can maximize his archer's turns despite losing out on a little bit of the seer's speed. I imagine he is going to want to just blitz this and try to end this match before Lord Giamas can do anything too crazy to him, taking advantage of Lord Giamas's lack of a healer to try to just overwhelm him with damage. And there's that new barrier for everybody on Fex's team. That is a big timing on that, as it will protect from what would have been a pretty stretched repeating shot anyway, but might have been tempting to go for, but now is just out of the question, and landing a stun on Lord Giamas's archer as well, making him skip his next turn. This has been a very, very productive and successful series of turns for Fex. Also withstanding, oh no, there they are, 2 speed debuffs, one on the seer and one on Fex's warrior. The archer still with a speed boost, getting another turn, aiming sharpshooter and going off on the archer, trying to chip away at Lord Giamas's best damage potential here while still maintaining very strong position of his own. Let's see what he chooses to do with this seer. Almost every hero in the game is slowed right now, except for Fex's archer, which is speed boosted, really highlighting the difference between a speed boost and a slow, as Fex's archer is much more frequently on the time bar than any other hero in the game. You can see him here, here, and here, all set up for turns. Plenty of mana to use in his attacks as well. Coming out with the basic attack, trying to just maximize that damage output and finish Lord Giamis off. I think he's hoping to not even see environmental damage, as it can be a bit of an evener in some matches, and I think he would like to close things out before that's even an opportunity. Whirlwind coming in again. Will it be enough? It is enough to take down that archer. So Lord Giamis left with nothing but a incredibly jacked warrior. Will the muscles be enough to make the difference and come back from this 3-1 hero deficit? Big miss. That's not going to help things at all. Fex's archer targeting that sharpshooter again and getting ready. And there it is. There it is. Congratulations to Fex taking home this tournament victory and the 30 USDC prize that goes along with it, as well as an equipment chest where he will get a surprise piece of equipment. Huge shout out to Lord Giamis for making it all the way to the finals, still walking away with 15 USDC. That is a very good showing, and a major kudos to all of our players in this tournament who showed up, showed out, and played their absolute best. It was a blast to watch. I'm glad that we could be here to stream it and to show it and talk about all of the fun and glory to be had in the DFK Coliseum. With that, Wrecked, anything else we want to talk about?
No, not at the moment. I felt like there was something in the beginning. There was something that was on my mind that I wanted to touch on, but we went through it, slipped my mind. It wasn't that important, but no, but that was really fun to watch. That was really cool. Congratulations to our winner, and congratulations to our losers as well, who gets to play in the other tournament.
Yep.
If they so choose. But yeah, this was really cool. I always love chatting with you, talking about DFK, because like I said earlier, it's a whole universe that's being created and being built, not top down, not just top down, not just from the team, but from the players and the gamers themselves. And I always enjoy it. And it kind of brings me back to like my upbringing, you know, like watching things like Dragon Ball Z and playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And playing Pokemon on, you know, Nintendo Game Boy and stuff. So I love to see it. I love to see it in the Web3 world, and love to see it happening on Metis and PvP. I think was such a huge development for the game and just for gaming, Web3 gaming in general. You know, like I'm not even exaggerating or not even like trying to put you all on a pedestal, but it was a really huge development for the industry, you know. And it's not, you know, and I'm not saying that just because you're on Metis or whatever. It's just true. It's really like it's like a peek into the future of what gaming could be with new technology, you know. And there's so much more still to be built. Like we were talking about having a DFK Go augmented reality game, you know, something like that. Like who knows, the possibilities are endless. But yeah, so thanks for having me though. Love the chat, always love connecting with the DFK community. Y'all make me laugh, and yeah, so
that is one thing you can always count on. We're here to have a good time.
Hell yeah.
Greatly appreciate you taking the time out to come and hang out with us as always. Thank you again to everybody who participated in this tournament and all of the others. There are so many more tournaments coming. You can see if you go on the game website, game.defykingdoms.com, and check registration, you can view the upcoming tournaments, which either later today or tomorrow we will be loading the next week's worth of tournaments in as well. But you can also check the public Google Calendar, which has our anticipated schedule. There may be a little bit of tweak to that, but we want to try to follow it as best we can. And then each week we upload the next week, and at that point they're set in stone. So make sure you check out tournaments, hop in there, get participating. There are tournaments for heroes of every level. There's tournaments capped at 6, 10, 15, and 20. They're a lot of fun. Get in there, compete, see what you can do, and win some prizes. For today, thank you all for joining us and tuning in. It was a real blast. Love you guys as always, and we will see you guys soon.
DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.